Well, we think it's high time we should tell you about the main hero of the Japanese automobile industry. This company acquired and continues to occupy first place in the top list of numerous automobile makers. In the year 2008, it also came to be known as the largest car manufacturing company. Yes, we're talking about none other than Toyota. Toyota became the 10th largest company in the world. But the question is, how did Toyota get so big? Whose contribution made it soar the heights? Get ready to take a ride through Toyota's history. Don't skip, or else you'll be missing out on something very inspiring. The story dates back to the year 1867 in the village of Yamaguchi-Mura, where a little boy was born to two Japanese parents, who later founded Toyota. His name was Sakichi Toyoda. His father, Ikichi, a farmer, also worked as a carpenter to aid his family. He was a famous carpenter, and many people relied on his father's skills. After graduating from elementary school, he joined as his father's assistant in carpentry. Sakichi took birth and was brought up during the period when there were changes brought about by the government under Emperor Meiji. Hence, the era of modern Japan started. There came a time when there were conflicts all around the village, and it was struck with poverty. Seeing this, Sakichi felt bad as he had nothing to do because of his small age. By the age of 14 or 15, Sakichi thought that he should do something that could help the people around him and also serve his country. So, at times, when he got free time after his carpentry, he would go through the newspaper and magazines thoroughly. To encourage self-learning, one day, he brought together a local youth for a group study in the evening. Even after his innumerable tries, he could not come up with an idea to serve society. On turning 18 in 1885, Sakichi learned about the newly passed Patent Monopoly Act. He went through this topic with huge concentration and dedication and realized that he had found what he was looking for. It was then he thought that he should utilize his wisdom and commit all his time and effort to the invention. Western civilization is based upon machinery. Machines are driven by steam. Steam-powered machinery requires expensive coal. Some method must be contrived to replace steam as the motive force, so believed Sakichi. Even after trying out various experiments with permanent and unlimited energy sources, he did not see the face of success. Sakichi then turned towards meditation. He made it a daily habit to meditate. After a certain period, he got attracted to the hand loom employed by the local farm families. Sakichi thought to himself that if somehow he could boost the efficiency of the hand loom machine, many people would be benefited from it. Without wasting a single second after that, he started working towards his target. Taking advantage of working in a barn, he assembled and destroyed several looms. Seeing his craze regarding looms, people began to think of him as having mental disorders. However, engrossed in his work, Sakichi did not pay heed to those comments. After numerous failures, it was the year 1891, and his hard work paid him. He got his first patent for a loom. He was just a boy of 24 years back then. After that, he didn't have to look back. But we know Toyota to be a car company, right? How did it transform from looms to an automobile company? Who was behind it? Was it a family member or someone from outside? Well, let's hear it then. It was the year 1933 when the founder's son, KIICHIRO Toyoda, thought, why not give a shot in the automobile industry? KIICHIRO had traveled all over Europe and the States to explore the automobile industry and started researching gasoline-powered vehicles a year later. The Japanese government urged Toyota loom workers to develop automobile production, as they did not have a domestic vehicle manufacturing company, which was much needed because of the war with China. KIICHIRO was in search of such an opportunity, and as soon as he saw it, he grabbed it. He then founded automotive production on September 1, 1933, and started to build precursor vehicles. A year later, they were successful in producing their first engine used in the Model A1 passenger cars and G1 trucks. The Toyota Motor Company became an independent company in 1937. The family bore the name Toyoda, so why do you think it changed to Toyota? Well, the letter had 8 strokes in its name when written in Japanese, and it's considered lucky in East Asian culture. Although KIICHIRO Toyoda founded the company, it wasn't him who led Toyota to the zenith of success. It was his cousin, Eiji Toyoda. He's best known for leading the company's expansion in the United States as the longest-serving president of the company. During his long 69 years of service, it went from building its vehicles out of the parts made by GM to being a lot more valuable than the Detroit-based Motor Corporation. He spent a major portion of his life being attached to Toyota and contributing to its success. He pushed his employees to learn from Ford and GM how to produce vehicles in mass. He became the president in 1967 and was there for 15 years, much longer than anyone has ever served. 3 years later, Toyota Motor and Toyota Sales got combined to form Toyota Corporation. He became the president of the joint organization and served till 1992. Under his guidance, the company was able to set up 10 new factories, started to export to a lot of countries, and build a reputation for his company. In 1966, the Corolla got introduced, and it rose to be the best seller of all time. Mr. President gave huge importance to the manufacturing concepts, such as continuous improvements and shutting down machines which are not in use, and this became the central theory of further production. When he laid the foundation of Toyota overseas, we think that this was the most valuable achievement throughout. In 1983, Toyota made its first venture to the United States, just a year after the presidency was passed to KIICHIRO. It was this venture that instilled confidence among the members of Toyota by showing that their manufacturing techniques can be applied to other cultures as well, and hence they built their independent plants in Kentucky, Canada, England, and France. Mr. Toyota was not a man to limit himself. He accepted the development of the luxury car and started competing with the best companies like Mercedes and BMW. In 1989, the first vehicle LS400 went on sale. In 1994, Mr. Toyota was put in the US Automotive Hall of Fame, making him the second honoree from Japan, the first being Soichiro Honda. Eiji Toyoda took birth on September 12, 1913, in Nagoya, situated in central Japan. According to sources, he grew up in his father's textile mill and was trained in machines and business from a very young age. He graduated from the University of Tokyo in mechanical engineering and started working for his uncle Sakichi in his loom factory. At the same time, KIICHIRO, Sakichi's son, founded Toyota Motors and employed his younger cousin. What do you guys think? Was he given the post of director as soon as he joined? No. In the early 20s, he started on the factory floor before his promotion to higher posts. From his initial days, he was given full privilege to seek his interests, ranging from fixing cars to helping the company spread its business. He was made the director in 1945. Discussions were going on between Toyota and Ford for jointly manufacturing cars in the States, but everything came to a stop after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941. Again, there were talks regarding this after the Second World War, but they did not lead anywhere. Mr. Toyota was sent by the US Army to acquire knowledge about mass production. The US wanted Toyota to build trucks for its troops residing in Korea. "We were producing 40 cars a day," he later recalled. Ford was making 8,000 units, a 200 times difference. After this, Eiji Toyoda had to conclude that the so-called Ford was hardly ahead of the much smaller Toyota in the technological area. He was focused on the efficiency of the cars rather than the number. Based on the work of his cousin, Eiji Toyoda successfully developed what came to be known as the Toyota production system. Its function was to get rid of the extra parts. Gradually, the manufacturing system gained a reputation and eventually got adopted by many other car companies. With this, we come to the end of the video. After knowing the story of Toyota, we can draw that life is pretty unpredictable. It can take you where you might have never imagined. Who would have thought that a loom factory would give rise to a whole empire of car manufacturers? That's why we should grab all the opportunities that come in front of us. You never know what might work for you. We hoped you liked this video, and do share this piece of inspiration with your friends and family. Don't forget to press the bell icon for fresh updates.